Hi, my name is Mira Blackwell, and in my persuasive speech, I'm going to talk about how does it benefit nature to reduce human paper consumption. I'm going to be going over a couple different topics, and I'm also going to go over the downside of why we don't reduce human paper consumption. And yeah. Okay, so the first topic I'm going over is deforestation. And on the next slide, I'm going to go over what deforestation is, if you're wondering. And also, if you're wondering, why should we look at why reducing paper consumption is beneficial for nature? If you're wondering that, many trees are cut down to make paper, which leads to large-scale deforestation. Not only that, but so many of us use massive amounts of paper at facilities like schools, colleges, offices, and other institutions. And we do use alternatives like computers, but not everyone can afford it, and it is so expensive, and I'm going to talk about that later on. So anyways, to make just one piece of paper, about 5 liters of water is needed, which is kind of crazy. And the production and use of paper affects the environment in so many ways because the paper that we use, we just end up throwing away. And when we throw it away, it ends up going back to animals' homes like forests and oceans. The forest is what I'm talking about right now. Anyways, what is deforestation? Deforestation is the cutting down of a forest on a large scale. Basically cutting down like an entire forest. That's what it is. 14% of deforestation is done to produce paper. And deforestation negatively affects nature by taking homes away from animals and causing species to go extinct. Because if we take down all the trees away, where are the squirrels going to go, and birds, and other animals that I can't think off the top of my head? Saving water. A huge amount of water is wasted in producing and recycling paper. Because what I was just talking about is basically what I'm talking about now. A huge amount of water is needed for paper, and we end up throwing away most of the paper anyways. So it's basically pointless to have as much paper produced as we do. Most of the water on Earth is not drinkable too, so it is crucial to save as much water as possible. Most people think, oh, we can just use as much water as we want because there's enough water, but really there's not enough drinkable water, I should say. In conclusion, we live in a digital world now where we have technology we can use instead of paper, but I'm going to talk about why we don't always do that. Why do we not reduce paper consumption? The cost of paper is very low compared to alternatives, and that's basically why we use paper more. Technology is very efficient and a growing alternative in this century. But the cost of technology is very high, like I was just saying. So not everyone is able to afford it. I'm glad I can. And then more downsides to reducing paper consumption. Shifts in resource demands, including if paper consumption decreases in one area, can lead to increased use in other areas, like packaging facilities like Amazon, UPS. Job losses in the pulp industry is a big thing too that will happen if we reduced paper consumption. A significant number of people will lose their job because they're the ones that make the paper, you know. While we do already recycle to reduce paper consumption, there's only so much that we can recycle, and the percentage is very low, so it's not enough to make a change at all.